thankful for the afternoon. Thankful for the evening, nighttime blessed by you. Leolam Va'ed, forever and ever. Leolam Va'ed, forever and ever. Leolam Va'ed, Leolam Va'ed, forever, 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 Leolam Va'ed. Modim אנחנו לך, שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו, אלוהי אבותינו ואימותינו. מודים אנחנו לך, שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו, אלוהי אבותינו ואימותינו. מודים אנחנו לך, שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו, אלוהי אבותינו ואימותינו. לעולם ועד, לעולם ועד, לעולם ועד, לעולם ועד. מודים אנחנו לך, שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו, אלוהי אבותינו ואימותינו. מודים אנחנו לך.
All right. You want to switch us over to the... We're on our... Oh, we're live already. Okay.
We are live.
There we are. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Hello over there. Hello to everyone who is gathered. Hello to this gaggle of children in the front here. Glad you are all with us on this Erev
Gaggling
Shabbat.
giggles.
And we're going to join in singing and in being together on this Shabbat. We're going to start by singing a prayer for peace. And Barlev kids, I'm going to ask you to go and sit with Mom, please. We'll see about that. All right. So we're going to sing Lo Yisagoy El Goy Harev, Lo Yomedu Od Milchama. I think a lot of us have been unable to pull ourselves away from the news this week, and we are praying for safety and peace and health for Ukraine. So we're going to sing Lo Yisagoy El Goy Harev, which starts with A-O. So if you don't know this version, you can sing along. A-O. Try that. Mrs. Golden. Let's sing that again. A-O. A-O. yisagoy. Lo yisagoy el goy cherev. Lo yilmedu od milchama. Lo yisagoy el goy cherev. Lo yilmedu od milchama.
Goy el goy erev,
lo yilmedu od
milchama.
Lo yisagoy el goy erev, lo yilmedu od milchama.
Hey ho, oh hey, hey oh, oh hey.
Throughout the service this evening, we've got in 4 different spots, we have brief little stories, inspiring stories of people who have been helping refugees this week on the various borders of Ukraine. It is not only is it First Friday, it's also Refugee Shabbat. We're gonna be holding up those refugees, those almost 1 million refugees who have crossed the border of Ukraine in this past week, these past weeks. And we'll hold them up in prayer and in our hearts. But first, we're going to sing together, Hine ma tovu manayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad, how good it is that we can dwell together. So we're going to dwell along with Nick as we sing, Hine ma tov.
Hine ma tov manayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. 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 Shevet Achim Gam Yachad.
Well, do we have, oh, actually, I see the perfect candle lighting couple. I see Rabbi Apotheker and Marcy Golden. And you can also drink, don't worry. You're going to fight Natalie for it at the end, though. All right, let's do candle lighting here on page 2.
Vayehi Baruch Shemo, Vayehi Baruch Shemo, Vayehi Baruch Shemo. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu
Melech
ha'olam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
We pay Rabbi A in Manischewitz, so it's good stuff. We want to welcome everyone to TBS on this beautiful Friday night, and if anybody is celebrating a March birthday, do we have any March birthdays here? Okay, you want to come up? Come up. This is so fun because we're all together here. We're here in the sanctuary. March birthdays. So, okay, I got a couple of guys right here. When's your birthday?
March 7th.
That's right. When's your birthday?
March 7th.
Second.
Surprise.
Medicare, March 13th.
Yoo-hoo.
The 10th.
26th.
Hey, so many March birthdays. Anybody else? Let me get out of the way here. All right.
My grandkids, they'll be 4 and 1 the same day.
I know what that's like. All right, except for 4 and 4. Let's join together. We're going to sing first in Hebrew, then in English. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, all you Jews. Happy birthday to you. Yay, happy birthday, everyone. And Rabbi Lynette has some crummy prizes for you. Well, you're welcome to grab a prize and you can go back and sit down. And hopefully this is a great birthday for everyone. Okay, Asher and Noah, you got to do that pretty quickly. Found one, all right. So many March birthdays, and it's so nice to be in our sanctuary. We're not cold right now.
Yay.
God willing, everyone, on an upward trajectory. All right. As they're finishing collecting their prizes, Andy got a really stylish bracelet. It's gonna be very nice. That's fair enough. Or is it? We're gonna sing Lecha Dodi. You can find that on page 20. And I'm gonna invite everyone just to take a deep breath for a moment. And we're going to sing together. I'm gonna actually lower the lights just for a moment so we can see the beauty of the Shabbat candles, if this actually works. Which sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. There it goes. Still going strong, 1997 technology. Okay. We're going to take a deep breath, welcome in a little bit of calm on this Shabbat, a little bit of peace, and then we'll sing together Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat, nekabla. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat, nekabla. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, umevorach. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, umevorach. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat, nekabla.
I feel that scream.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This is our first inspiring story coming from Ukraine that we'll be sharing tonight. Last Sunday, Tom and his partner Georgia decided they could no longer sit idle. According to the Washington Post, Tom and Georgia set up an online fund to raise money for supplies, setting about $1,000 as their goal. Within a few days, they reached more than $15,000. Tom and Georgia are not from Ukraine, but Tom said, "As soon as I saw images of children and people being taken away from their families and ripped away from their normal lives, I couldn't help but think, what if that was my loved ones?" But here's the catch. Tom and Georgia live in West Dorset, England, with a 16-seater minibus stuffed with kids' toys, food, sanitary products, sleeping bags, thermals, and tents, and anything and everything donated by their neighbors. Tom drove more than 1,000 miles, arriving at the Ukraine-Poland border 28 hours later. He took a few breaks. Tom's initial plan was to deliver these supplies to Ukrainians at the border and at refugees in Poland, but once he saw the dire need for transportation, he decided to also start driving groups of Ukrainians from a busy train station in Lviv, Ukraine, to the border near the Polish village of Korchova so they could cross into Poland. So far, he's not only donated all of those supplies, he also has helped drive over 65 refugees. Back at home, Georgia is managing the family business while also contacting refugees on social media, and she's sending Tom their location and contact info so that he can go pick them up. Tom and Georgia have brought hope and supplies and safety to so many people simply because they decided they could not stand idle. Similarly, our tradition teaches us to not stand idly by the suffering of our neighbors, whether those neighbors be the people who literally live next to us or our neighbor human beings around the world. We may be more than 1,000 miles away, but there are so many ways we too can choose to not sit idle. Because as we learned from Tom and Georgia and many others we'll hear about tonight, and we continue to hear, one person's decision to help can make a huge difference. With that, we will rise together for our call to prayer, Am I Awake, Baruch Hu. I invite you, if you're able, to please rise.
I would say any kids who want to come up and stand right here and lead some dancing and some singing, any kids who want to, you can come on up here.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yalla-la-la-la, 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 yalla-la-la-la. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam v'hed Le'olam v'hed Yalalai, 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 yalalai,
Beautiful. You guys can go back to your seats. Thank you for making that beautiful enhancement to our service.
Yes, it's so wonderful to have all of us be here and all of us singing together, and thank you all for helping to lead us. We're going to stay standing for just another moment as we sing together Shema. And if all of you back at your seats can help with the hand motions, that would be awesome.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam v'ed.
You may be seated.
Ve'ahavta
et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha
ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך על יום הלבביך ושינתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך וקיומך וקשתם לאות על ידי הטפות בעיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי הייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים להיות להם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
So we've got, sorry, that's very loud. As we mentioned, we've got a few just really brief stories, and this is about this week. Israel helped to rescue 100 orphans. Around 100 Jewish orphans successfully escaped the fighting in Ukraine on Tuesday as part of a complex rescue operation that'll ultimately see them relocated to Israel. Several Israeli diplomats and officials were involved with the effort, and Jerusalem's consul in Romania led the way. The operation required complex advanced planning since many of the children who began their journey in the Ukrainian city, I'm going to destroy this name, but Zhytomyr. Any Ukrainians want to correct me on that? Okay, well, just do it in the comments. But they started there in Zhytomyr. And they did not have the proper travel papers, many of them. They faced serious logistical problems as they exited the country. Thousands of people were streaming to the land borders. The children ultimately had to walk long distances on foot in difficult weather conditions, including in temperatures below 20 degrees Fahrenheit. They were stranded in the border area for 6 days before they were successfully extracted. We went out to greet them from the Romanian side, and the emotions were high to see the faces of the children, said one of the Romanians. I tell you this not just because I am the consul, but also as a human being and a father. The oldest of these children was maybe 12 years old, he said. That was the Israeli consul in Romania. The children were placed on buses after arriving at the border, and they will be sent to another town, and eventually they will go off to Israel, hopefully by the end of this coming week. The consul described the operation as very emotional for every Jew, adding that it brings up feelings from deep inside from other places. All over the world and on Twitter, you could see people commenting that there is no country like this in the world. 6 days into a harsh war in Ukraine, there are these moments that are beautiful and holy because people put themselves in harm's way to help others. And we'll share a few more of those this evening. We're going to turn to the Micha Mocha prayer, and we'll ask if anybody has something that they are thankful for in this week that was tough. Maybe there are some nice things also. All right, let's hear them. Why don't you guys lift our spirits on this Shabbat?
Carnival of the Animals.
Carnival of the Animals. That was amazing.
School.
Cool. That's so great. What do you think?
My aunt just had a newborn baby.
Yay, we have a new cousin today.
My family.
Oh, I love it.
Nail polish.
Oh, that's a good one, Izzy. You need to have the bling.
Siblings.
Siblings. Beautiful.
My family. My friends.
Love it. Thank you for that. No, you got one?
My tax attorney.
Tax attorney. All right. That is a good one, Natalie. Yes, that is for sure.
Yeah.
So yesterday was the first
Thankful
day
that I
of
was able to
spring.
go out to California. I'm thankful that I was able to go out to my great-grandson's first birthday in California last week.
Hey, that's beautiful.
Man, happy birthday. That is terrific.
So grateful that winter's ending. 100%.
Beautiful. Anybody else? These are really beautiful smachot, really beautiful simchas. And let's join together in singing Micha Mocha.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות oh say fele, hi, yum biddy bum bum bye bye, yum biddy bum bum bye bye, yum bye bye, yum bye bye, yum biddy bum bum bye bye, yum biddy bum bum bye bye, yum biddy bum bum bye bye, yum bye bye, yum bye bye, yum bum bye bye bye. Adonai yimloch leolam vaed, leolam, leolam, leolam vaed. Yom bidi bum bum bye bye, yom bidi bum bum bye bye, yom bye bye, yom bye bye, yom bidi bum bum bye bye, yom bidi bum bum bye bye, yom bidi bum bum bye bye, yom bye bye, yom bye bye, yom bum bye bye bye, yom bye bye, yom bye bye, yom bum bye bye bye.
And this is just a brief little story that you may have seen online that Chef Jose Andres has been stationed on the border of Ukraine and into Poland and has set up shop there to provide food to folks who are in need, to refugees. Andres shared a selfie-style video late on Monday calling attention to the plight of the Ukrainian people escaping violence in the country. He said, "It's hard to know that Ukrainian refugees, many women and children and some men, are outside in freezing temperatures or in their cars without gas, waiting in line to leave the country. At least 1 million people have fled Ukraine since the invasion began. Many more are expected to leave, according to the UN Refugee Agency. The renowned chef's charity, the World Central Kitchen, wasted no time and set up locations in Ukraine, Romania, and Poland, helping to feed thousands of hungry people already who have been displaced. In a Tuesday update, Andres filmed himself outside of a local bakery outside of Kyiv in Ukraine, where he helped provide flour to the bakery in need. People need to be fed, he said, and sometimes in a bakery like this, you see people and you're helpful with just bread. And that is, I don't think there's anything just about that. It's certainly heroic and selfless of him to be there with his organization. And hopefully our prayers tonight help motivate us to do just a little bit of good if we can. Find a charity that speaks to us so that we can live these prayers that we recite tonight. So we're going to turn to the Amidah on page 46, and we'll invite everyone to please rise.
Adonai. Hananana svaitai tiftach. Hananana ufi agid. Ufi agid tehillatech. Hananana Adonai. Hananana svaitai tiftach. Hananana ufi agid. Ufi agid tehillatech. Hananana Adonai. Hananana svaitai tiftach. Hananana ufi agid. Ufi agid tehillatech. Hananana Adonai. Hananana svaitai tiftach. Hananana ufi agid. Ufi agid tehillatech.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotinu v'imotzeinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'koneh hakol, Ve'zocher hasei avot v'imehot, U'mevi geula livnei v'neihem, Le'ma'an shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach Magid. Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechayeh Kol Tavrav Lehoshia. Mechakel Vayim Bechesed, Mechayeh
Hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofei cholim,
Umatir Asurim,
umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha bal gevurot, umido melach, melech memit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. You may be seated. We will take a few moments of silent prayer. If you have a prayer book, you can use pages 54 to 60, or of course, whatever words may be in your own heart this evening.
Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
So I've got a story for you on this first Friday evening, and the story takes place in a place that is literally called paradise. You can see it looks like a paradise there. And in paradise, everybody got along. Everybody was friends. No one tried to conquer each other. People helped each other out. People, as you can see from this thing, they shook hands, even if they didn't have faces. They all got along really, really nicely. And there was a queen, a very wise and noble queen named Queen Leah. And Queen Leah was a great queen. She always took care of the people. She always made sure that if somebody needed something, that the government was there to provide it. And everyone followed her example. She was kind and compassionate and helped other people. But then she got older and older, and she said, I can't do this forever. I got to retire. I've got my place in Vegas. So she said, goodbye, take care of paradise. My son will be taking over, and see you later. So she hopped on a flight, and there was a new king in paradise, and his name was King Shlomo. And there he is, nice-looking lad. And Shlomo had some royal advisors, and they tried to advise him. And one day, one of his royal advisors said, King Shlomo, people are hungry. And Shlomo said, people are hungry? I've got a whole table full of food here. It's not my problem if people in my kingdom are hungry, so see you later, goodbye. And the next day, the guard came in and said, people are really cold. We don't have any good furnace systems here in paradise, and everyone is cold. Maybe we could get some blankets or something. And King Shlomo said, well, actually, I'm pretty warm. I mean, it feels like a balmy 72 in here. This is great. Sorry, not my problem. See you later. Well, the next day, the guard came and he said, King Shlomo, listen, I know helping people isn't exactly your thing, but the people are kind of scared. Just could you say a couple of kind words that would make them feel better? He said, sorry, I'm feeling pretty good right now, so not my problem. Those people can take care of themselves. Well, as you can imagine, soon everyone noticed how the king treated other people, and they started to do the same thing. They stopped taking care of each other. They stopped being kind to each other. They stopped listening to each other. And all they would do was fight in selfish ways. Everyone forgot what the town used to be like. Over some time, every single person forgot that they had to take care of each other. Everyone forgot except for the fisherman named Jimmy, who for some reason is wearing a tie. Jimmy, the fisherman, remembered how great the town used to be, and he had an idea on how to remind them. So he went out to his fishing boat, and he said, okay, I've got this fishing boat, I'm gonna fix it up. So he took some tools, the best that Google Images could do, and started working on his boat to fix it up and make it beautiful. And finally, he got the finished final product. And there it is. And he said, everyone in town, hey everyone, check out my new and improved boat. Let's have a giant party. Everyone's invited. We'll see you on the boat. It's the SS Paradise. You need to be there. Well, as you can imagine, every single person in town showed up on the boat. And they had a great time. They had a nautical party like you wouldn't imagine. There was delicious but still kosher seafood. They had drinks. They had dancing. It was a great time. They were all having a lot of fun.
But did they make a filter fish?
They didn't make a filter fish. They didn't have their grinders with them. But something strange happened. Near the end of the party, Jimmy took out this drill and started drilling a hole into the side of his boat. And everyone started to say, hey, Jimmy, what are you doing? And he said, no problem, guys, don't worry about it. I'm just drilling a hole in my part of the boat. Don't worry about the rest of the boat. You guys enjoy the Manischewitz, have a nice time. I'll see you soon. And he went back to drilling again. And the people all started freaking out. They said, he's drilling a hole in the boat? It's gonna sink. All this water's gonna come in, the boat's gonna sink, we're gonna have to swim for it. And they said, Jimmy, you have to stop. We're all gonna go down. And Jimmy said, not my problem, people. Well, guess what happened? The king came over. They got him off of the aft of the boat. I don't remember the boat terms. He got off of the front of the boat and he came over to the back. And the king said, okay, everyone, I'll take care of this. I'll take care of this. Jimmy, I command you to stop drilling, said King Shlomo. But Jimmy said, but why, King? I'm only drilling in my part of the boat. It's not my problem. And then the king said, no, Jimmy, don't you see? We are all in the same boat. If it's my problem, it's your problem. And if it's your problem, it's my problem. And now this is going to be everybody's problem. And Jimmy said, you're right, King Shlomo. We are in the same boat. We have to take care of each other and look out for each other. We can't be cruel for each other. We can't say it's not my problem when somebody else is hurting, even if they're all the way across the world in Ukraine. We can't say it's not my problem. We have to say that every single person is important. And then Shlomo and everybody said, oh, that's right. Good call, fisherman Jimmy. We are all in the same boat. So he stopped drilling. They had a lovely party, and they got back to paradise. And you know what happened? It became paradise again. They all started being kind to each other and sharing and being loving and caring about each other. If somebody fell down and hurt their leg, 3 people would be there to help that person up and say, "Are you okay? And can I get you a bandage?" Or if somebody was hungry, the entire street would come over with pots of food for them. Everyone looked out for each other, and everyone's problems were shared, and that's how it finally became paradise. They helped each other, and they said, "We are all in the same boat." Guess what? Queen Leia came back and said, "Great job, son. You did it, King Shlomo." And he said, "Finally, the approval I've sought my whole life. Yay!" And that is the end of the story. So we are all in the same boat, and hopefully we'll remember that, and we can all help each other out. Just a quick show of hands from the kids. Has anybody helped somebody out this week? Anybody that done something to help anybody out? That is great. And you don't have to say what it is, but just to see if anyone helped each other. You guys definitely did. I know you Barlev kids all helped each other last night rebel against us. Yes. Let's try and remember that we are all in the same boat. And I'm going to turn it over to Rabbi Lynette from Misha Berach. Speaking of being in the same boat.
Yes. Thank you, Rabbi Benji, for that fun story and really important message that we are all in the same boat as we now turn our thoughts to those who are in need of perhaps that feeling of wholeness and support as we send our prayers out to the whole country of Ukraine. It's 1 million or so refugees, and of course all refugees around the world. We're also sending prayers of peace and our thoughts of support to all of our LGBTQ plus kids in Texas and Florida. We're thinking of all of them too. In our community, there are many folks who we're thinking of tonight. We're thinking of Catherine Adler, Marcia Ames, Marilyn Altman, Lynn Adams, Sam Barron, Sarah Bates, Deborah Belford, Barbara Belford, Marjorie Block, Paul Branson, Lee Boudin, Jack Cashman, Dave Sidarquest, Dorothy Cohen, Rob Cohen, Dorothy Collins, Susan Nault Collins, Lily Kovitz, Adrian Crawford, Rick Crawford, Taya Delano, Gary Dicker, Tony Diegler, Carrie Ebert, Sylvia Eckstein, Elaine Ellick, Michael Fiorelli, Rachel Fish, Olivia Glick, Don Goldberg, Jimmy Green, David Haas, Harry Hirsch, Don Kerr, Marlene Levine, Peter Levy, Barb Lucas, Angel Marrero. We're thinking of Fred Martin, Richard McGarvey, Minna Melton, Caleb Moses, Dorothy Muncie, Dick Nettleman, Robert Oakley, Nick Parisi, Aaron Phelan, Ian Phillips, Aaron Plasko, Rashi Prostowski, Jessica Rathkopf, William J. Rees, Barry Richmond, Zachary Rowe, Irving Rose, Rolf Sauer, Susan Shermer, Pamela Schultz, Barbara Schuster, Marty Schuster, Richard Schur, Jonas Snyder, Joyce Spiegler, Ruth Ann Stewart, Lou Supowitz, Joyce Schwartzman, Greg Vinoker, Robert Weiss. And we're also thinking of, let me get back to the comments here. You got them? Thank you. Thank you. Sarah Siegfried, Pete Bowman, Harlow Nemeth, Linda Brown, Sheila Richards, Lisa Clark, Angela Martin, Heather Powers, and Jean Block. Thank you, Rabbi. Is there anyone else in our congregation, if you want to share names of those whom we're thinking of, welcome to share their names at this time.
Andrew Morales.
We're also thinking of Rachel Mosley. For them and for all those who are in need of healing and wholeness, we'll sing together, Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema. the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. And let us say, Amen.
We've got one more story as we continue to send our prayers to Ukraine, as we're aware that along with the million refugees, there are many who are staying in the country to defend Ukraine, including Jewish President Volodymyr Zelensky. But many are learning to use firearms for the first time to defend their country. And on social media, one of these many first-timers includes an 80-year-old Ukrainian man. According to Twitter, he brought with him a small briefcase with 2 shirts, a pair of extra pants, a toothbrush, and a few sandwiches for lunch, and he said he was doing it for his grandkids. 2 others defending their country, I hope I say their names right, are Yarnia Aryeva and Svatoslav Fursin, and they got married just hours after Russia launched its invasion of their country. So they spent their first day as a married couple collecting their rifles and getting ready to defend Ukraine. We send prayers of strength, fortitude, and protection to all Ukrainians who are proudly defending their country. We'll continue with this beautiful prayer for Ukraine by Miriam Klimova, a rabbinical student. She begins with this poem by Leah Goldberg, Perhaps Only Migrating Birds Know, Suspended Between Earth and Sky, the Heartache of 2 Homelands. You're welcome to join with me in this prayer. Our God, bless our friends and relatives. Lord of all creatures, by your great mercy, protect all the inhabitants of your world. Spread over them a canopy of peace, liberate them from all hatred and enmity, and plant in the hearts of all people of this earth love and fraternity, friendship and peace, and fulfill the vision of your prophet. Nation will not take up sword against nation, nor will they train for war anymore. Amen. That's Lo Yesagoy, as we sang at the beginning of our service. We'll continue with Aleinu L'Shabeach, and I invite you, if you're able once again, to please rise. Aleinu L'Shabeach Ladon HaKol, Lategidu L'Yotzeh Breshit, Shelo Asanu K'goyei Haratzot, Velo Samanu K'mishpechot Adama, Shelo Sam Chelkenu Kahem, V'gora Aleinu Kechol Hamonam, V'anachnu Kodim, U'mishtakavim U'modim, Lifnei Melech Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bayom Hahu Yeh Adonai Echad, U'Shemo Echad. We'll remain standing as we take a moment for memory to recall those whom we've lost recently or in years past. We're also thinking, of course, of all of those who have recently died in the war in Ukraine. We're first thinking of those whom we've lost within the last 30 days and observing Shloshim. We remember Jennifer Cohen, Marcia Dolan, Scott Goldman, Gloria Hoke, Jan Maddox, Ronald Lee Solo, and Aline Wachtel. We're also recalling those whom we observe in Yartzeit who we lost at this season in years past. We remember Leah Apotheker, Gussie Applebaum, Ruth Beck, Patrick Boyce, Samuel Brandt, Raymond Carpenter, Marianne Colangelo, Henry Dreyfus, William Erlinger, Kay Feinknopf, Fred Fisk, Bernard Frank, Rebecca Glazman, Yetta Jobrack, Bruno Levenbach, David Lokshin, Evelyn Lynch, Devorah Pearlstein, Charles Polachek, Murray Rubin, Edith Samuel, Mike Schwantes, and Allison Sensor. If there's someone whom you're recalling this evening, I invite you to say their name, either aloud or in your heart. We are also remembering Nancy Patton. For them and for all those who are blessing to humanity, we'll recite Mourner's Kaddish together. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dehol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabba Mivarach Le'olam Ulamei Almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal Shemei Dekudesha Berichu. Le'al min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to Israel, to Ukraine, and to all the world. And let us say together, Amen.
Amen.
You may be seated. I'd like to invite up Bobby Kovitz for some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's wonderful to be back together like this after 2 years. It's really fantastic. So thank you to all of you for joining us tonight, and for those of you at home. Please join us after services in the social hall for pizza dinner, dessert, and games, and just for us to be together as a community. Tomorrow, we have a Zoom Shabbat service and Torah study. Please email Rabbi Benji if you'd like the Zoom code. On Sunday at 7 p.m. here at the temple, please join the men's club for poker. And then we kind of like get into Purim in a couple of weeks. We have a ton of Purim events planned. Again, check out the e-window for more details, but on March 18th, a Friday at 6:30, we're going to have our Purim service and just kind of Purim party outdoors. We're going to have Hamantashen, dinner, games for the kids, costume party. It's going to be great. March 19th, the next day, is a Saturday. We're going to have a Tot Shabbat Purim party for the little kids, and that'll be at 4 p.m. And we just have a gigantic April planned. It's really exciting with Passover, Mitzvah Day, a Dan Nichols weekend, and then at the end of the month, on April 30th, the TBS 2022 Gala. So the e-window has more details, but also the window, which if you haven't received it already, has all of that information as well. So again, thank you for joining us tonight. Shabbat Shalom, and thank you for making TBS your Jewish home.
Shabbat Shalom to you. We say we were out of commission for 2 years, so we're going to live it up in April and just pack it full of events, which we are very excited about. You want to do that? You want to do a closing song first, and then we'll do a Kiddush?
Sure.
Okay, well, let's do that. I believe we're doing another Osei Shalom.
Right.
Okay.
Osei Shalom, b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru Amen. Osei Shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru Amen. Osei Shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru Amen. Osei Shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru Amen.
We got two. Rabbi and Natalie. She's good. Let's join together in Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri haga'afim l'chaim. And it's the good stuff.
Finish it with connoisseurs. I love it.
Come on up if anyone wants to get a hand on this challah here. Now that we're back in the building, we have to get some rabbi candy again.
Ooh, a hand. Yeah. Don't share it yet. Wait.
Start a fire.
Gotta do the blessing first.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
shalom.
Please join us down.